Alright everybody, did the block off, the smog block off earlier, which was just jamming a marble in the AIS hose. So let's go out and see if it got rid of some of that popping and crackling on D-cell. I believe it will. Alright, looks like we're recording, everything looks good. 4K 60. Let's go for a little ride. I don't mind a little popping and crackling on D-cell, but there were times where it sounded like a goddamn shotgun blast. And I was like, that might not be good. So there's always got to be some. You got no catalytic converter, got a wide open pipe, no obstructions, so there's always going to be some. Especially when you have the fuel cut eliminator disabled as I have. Most of it's gone. We'll get out and romp on it a little bit, but it seems like the majority of it's gone. That's good. Yeah, a little crackly, but nothing. A little bit. Yeah, got rid of most of it. Hot damn. So for a little bit of my time and the cost of a marble, small price to pay for perfection. Yeah, right now when I'd be rolling off a throttle, normally I'd be banging and popping and making all kinds of racket. Let's just go make a right here. Just do a quick little loop around the neighborhood sort of thing. Get on the gas a little bit. Oh, this frickin' intersection. What time is it? Oh yeah, duh. Rush hour. No escape from it, my friends. Move out to the country, they said. It'll be peaceful. There's no traffic. Until everybody else gets the same goddamn memo and goes out to the country. And now it's as congested and crappy as all the areas we left from whence we came. It's like you kind of have to go to like where people don't, where you wouldn't want to live. Because then hopefully nobody else will live there either. You have the place to yourself. But I don't know that that's the answer. Alright, let's just try to make a right-hand turn. A couple little wheelies, get on the gas. See how it sounds. And I could go through the gravel, but there's a bunch of potholes, gravel, uneven pavement. This ain't no adventure bike, yo. There you go. Nobody coming this way. You're good. Little pop, little crackle, nothing big. Ah, a great bike, man. Yeah, see there? This thing needs a tank. My front wheels were getting, you may have seen the video there going back and forth real quick. The way that this damn thing, the front tire is like off the ground half the time. If this thing did not have a steering damper, this would be a bad bike. Some people say, like, oh, you don't need a steering. Yeah, you do. On some bikes, you absolutely need it. This is one of them. And I know that there's things we can do with the suspension setup. But at the end of the day, when you got a bike that spends that much time with the front tire off or skimming the ground, and it's just skimming and it's hitting imperfections and little bumps that kicks the handlebars one way or the other, you know, it's not like a car where you have a whole bunch of linkage and heavy pieces and a power steering unit with gears, you know, things like that in between your steering wheel and the wheels. On a motorcycle, or for that matter with an ATV, if you ever ridden an ATV that doesn't have power steering, every time you hit a rock it goes bam and jams the goddamn handlebar into your wrist. My wife broke her hand that way. Hitting a rock, it slammed the bar into her hand so hard that it shattered her thumb, cracked it or something. She had to get surgery on that. And I think Sarah had the same thing happen to her. Maybe weak thumbs run in her family, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, you when the front wheel is up off the ground, you know, these things are very light steering. It takes hardly any input. And so when the tire's hitting the pavement, it's not like you're on a smooth sheet of glass, right? There's bumps, there's variations in the pavement and stuff, and it makes the handlebar flop back and forth a little bit. Especially when it's bouncing, it comes up, go down, bounce up and down. It's like the traction control's fighting to keep the front end planted. It's very easy to put all these unwanted steering inputs in there and make the front a little bit wonky. And that is what your steering damper is for. Now I should be able to turn right, but not everybody stays in their damn lane, so you never know if they're gonna. Yeah, it's like, how cold is it out? Yeah, 68 degrees and low humidity. So this bike is making like perfect power, and you just go near the throttle in second. It just wants to pick the front end up, which makes it flutter around a bit. And it's also highly freaking windy out right now. I'm getting blown all over the place. There's a cop. And there's an accident up here. Some dickbag can't make a turn or go through an intersection without clobbering into somebody. Oh yeah, that's exactly what happened. I just assume it's a woman driver. Yeah, that was maybe 20% throttle at first. Oh, this thing is so stupid. Yeah, that wind is gusty. Difference in my filming today, I'm on Rock Steady, which is their image stabilization 1 instead of Rock Steady Plus. So I'm curious to see which one does a better job of image stabilization. Theoretically Rock Steady Plus should, but it does so by cropping in more into the image so that it can do its stabilization by cropping out. You know, it'll find pixels to focus on, and then as they move around, it'll lock onto those. But then to keep that pixel centered, because it may be moving around as things are going by, it's got to, it doesn't want to crop it down more. So it basically zooms in, or it does something like that. Some sort of digital sorcery is what it does. It's how it do. Hey, there's the traffic I was just sitting in up there before. Thinking of ditching the stock can and getting the Leo Vinci. There's a LV10 little stubby GP can that goes with this pipe, the mid pipe. Looks a little nicer, a little smaller. Haven't made up my mind. But yeah, when you use the Rock Steady Plus, because it zooms in, because it's cropping the image a little bit more to do it, then you don't get as wide view. So then where you position the camera becomes more, not tricky, but if I want to keep the dash in view, because it's cropping some of it out, I have to aim the camera more down than I normally would, which means then I'm not getting as much of what else is around. So we'll see if this stabilizes it enough. I think it sounds pretty good the way it is. I feel like it could be a little bit louder. Because unlike the D-Cat on the R1, this one does have a slight muffler, small one, in line. They're calling it a resonator, but whatever. It's a chamber with a perforated steel core wrapped in fiberglass or steel wool. It's a muffler. It's a short, stubby one. So it's got the stock muffler and then that one. And that takes out some of the rasp. I'm wondering if I just got a smaller end can. It'll look a little nicer than, I mean, the stock one isn't bad looking, but I feel like that little, you know, I'm just gonna go order the goddamn thing. I always think, oh, maybe I should do this, and then the next day, hey, check out the new video of this thing I said I probably wasn't gonna do because it wasn't worthwhile, or I'm gonna be mature and do the adult thing. And then I get home and my inner 9-year-old comes out and is like, where's the debit card? Let's order some shit. I'm like, all right, just this once. But I will say that the AIS block is absolutely working, doing exactly what I was hoping it would do, which is what it's done on other bikes, so I don't know. It does sound lovely. This bike just wants to play. It's like, do I want to go fast and wheelie and play around? I was watching Bill Burr bit the other day. He's talking about how guys are wired sexually, and you know, it's like being monogamous is not in our nature. Caveman nature is plant your seed everywhere you can. But in a civilized society, and we cherish relationships and don't want to hurt people's feelings, we're like, you know, you don't do it. Like the whole time, though, your dick's like, do it, come on, do it, do it, do it, just do it. And that's all it does. It's like, that's what this bike feels like. It doesn't feel like my dick. I mean, it feels like you're like, oh, I'm just good for it. It's like, should I goose it? You know? Yeah, goose it. Problem is that slow poke, by the time the front wheel starts coming up, I'm catching up on them really quick. But yeah, it's just constant. It's just egging you on, like, come on, just do it. Okay. Ugh. Normally I'd rip through here, but you just 10% throttle. You just touch it and it wants to just go. But all the soccer moms coming home. Oh well, this wasn't supposed to be a riding video. This was just testing to see if my AIS, or if you're going by other brands, if you're like, what the fuck is an AIS? Air injection system. Or it could be SAI with some companies, secondary air injection. There's also PAIR, which is something air injection retarded. I don't know, it's something else. There's another anagram. They all amount, PAIR, AIS, SAI, they're all the same thing. And in order to make emissions look better when they do testing, you go ahead and take fresh air. There's a hose that goes into a solenoid, which then goes into 2 hoses or 4 hoses, whatever, goes to the exhaust manifold on the top of the engine there, and it basically injects clean air from the airbox that is filtered. Fuck you, why are you turning? Oh, be my neighbor, it'll be some dick down the street, so I have to follow them the whole goddamn way as they try to drive their behemoth. Ugh. Just get out the way. And it brings fresh air into the damn exhaust manifold, clean up emissions, because they're usually looking for, you know, percentage of CO2 coming out. And see what that does when you got a tune and the fuel cut eliminator's turned off and all that stuff, and you don't have a catalytic converters and all that other stuff to muffle the sound. Is you have unburned fuel getting that fresh air, hitting it in the pipe, and if it's hot enough, setting it off. So I'm getting a little bit. That's perfect. Just a little pop and crackle here and there. Snap, crackle, and pop. And also, if you're ever going to have your bike tuned, you got to block that off when you put it on the dyno, because they're sniffing the exhaust coming out the tailpipe, and you know it doesn't. It just knows here's the ratio of CO2 to O2 and all that kind of stuff, and it's looking for byproducts of the combustion process to let you know if your fueling is spot on or not. If you got extra air being introduced, it's going to look like it's leaner than it is, which is what you want for emissions testing, not for tuning. So, a couple reasons to get rid of that. Anyway, let's go and look at the video, see how it sounds, and we'll talk to you cats later.